Lucius is amazing. I think a lot of the hype around this character is that he's a buff dispeller and he can do some kind of interesting DPS and he's got crazy RNG. But the reality is, if you know how to use him and you really leverage the craziness that is his kit, he can be one of the top DPS for bosses in the entire game. So that's what I want to highlight here. This is actually a video I wanted to make 3 or 4 months ago when I first pulled A4 Lucius, because I want to do a little comparison showing how good he is, period. That'll be the first part of this video, and then bringing him up to A5 and taking it to another level. This A5 is crazy. We'll talk about it in a bit. But actually, in that time, just because things were getting in the way, other videos were happening, I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off before finally doing it today. In that time, a bunch of things came into the game that have taken Lucius to the next level. The biggest of which is Diao Chan.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
So to understand why Diao Chan is so important, I mean, she's just important because she's one of the 5 best heroes in the whole game. But to understand why she's so important to Lucius, we have to understand a key part of his kit. This effectively will be a Lucius guide, though I don't want to be doing like a deep dive character breakdown. I've done that a lot with Lucius in the past. But you have to understand the random elements of his kit. So yes, with Lucius, you can ult with him. He dispels buffs, so he strips buffs from the enemy target up to 5, and that's a really cool thing. And then he's going to do some extra kind of interesting DPS, and it's fine, but it's not that special. If you don't ult with him, and he stacks up enough pursuits, which turn into damnations, that then triggers basically a second ultimate. This over here, Demonic Embrace, some people find this annoying, and if you're trying to use Lucius as a buff dispeller specifically or exclusively, then yeah, it is, because it locks him out, and when this happens, he like brights up red and he cannot ult, which means he cannot dispel buffs, which can be really bad if you're doing something like Apoc2 Semrah, Apoc1, and you need to get those buffs off. However, I think if you pair Lucius with a different buff dispeller, so maybe Lyra, or in this case Kagiri, really natural pairing, you can fully lean in to some crazy Lucius stuff. And that's what we're going to do here. So we are going to embrace the Demonic Embrace. So how does Demonic Embrace work? After every basic attack, he has a 25% chance to launch something called a Pursuit, and this is a little bonus damage. So this naturally allows him to be a pretty good damage dealer, and you'll see over here he's got this effect Crack Shot when he attacks elites or bosses, and the boss component's the most important because he's a real boss killer. It increases this by 15%, and basic attacks will also restore 12 extra rage, so just 12 ticks of rage. That's obviously not 12% rage. So against bosses, every one of his basics has a 40% chance, 25 plus 15, to launch a Pursuit. That does come with extra damage, but additionally, every 2 pursuits translates into a stack of damnation. So there's a lot of little calculations to go into this, but essentially every 10 pursuits, he'll have 5 stacks of damnation, and when he has 5 stacks of damnation, automatically, you don't have to press anything, he essentially has an auto ult, and he triggers Demonic Embrace. Demonic Embrace is nuts. It is one of the powerful. If this was a manual ult, Lucius would be talked about non-stop. But because there's RNG to when you're hitting the pursuit, and are you hitting an elite or a boss, and did you stack fast enough, and when are the 5 stacks of damnation going to hit, it can be frustrating. But when it hits, and you enter Demonic Embrace, and you don't need to dispel buffs, and you just want to unload God's Wrath, he increases his damage by 280%, reduces his attack interval by 30%, and each basic attack is now guaranteed to trigger a pursuit. So each one is coming with that bonus 80% damage. There's the normal basic attack damage, there is the revved up increased damage that's scaling upon, and then the little 80% as well. But the most important part comes with this, Tainted Spirit. So everything we're talking about here is a fully skilled up Lucius, but with his passive, when he's in Demonic Embrace, which is essentially just an extra feature of this side ultimate, whatever you want to call it, every attack ignores 30% of his defense. The second part is when he's not in Demonic Embrace, when you just naturally do the ult, and it's a little damage boost, and that's nice. But this is crazy. He just shreds 30% of defense. So you put him into content where you already have a defense break of 20% or 25%, 30%. He's just kind of like a mini Silas, except his multipliers are better. So he's not fully ignoring everything, but he is shredding. And he can do really awesome stuff. So I'm going to show you really cool things today in Semrah. To start off, he'll just go crazy at Awaken level 4. But the second half of the video, I do want to show you at A5 how good he is. I've been dying to do this forever. I've actually pulled 2 Luciuses, 2 Lucii, if you will, since I pulled him A5. that I've then gone off and sold for coins. I've patiently been waiting for the moment when I could go make this video, which, by the way, I do want to say this video is going to take me forever. I've been prepping for it for a while, and it's going to be a lot of footage that we'll have to edit down. So if you appreciate it, be sure you subscribe to the channel. And yeah, if you made it this far, give me a little Lucy Lou in the comments. So there's one more thing I have to show you before we get into some content and I show you some builds. If you don't trust me, if you think I'm some scrub, how about you trust the best players in the world? So the hardest content in Watcher Realms right now and the biggest DPS hurdle to clear is Abyss 1 in the Drake's Chasm. And if you look at the top 3 in the entire world, 3 of the only 5 players on the global server that are, when I say entire world, I mean the global world rankings, but of these top 3 and 3 of the entire top 5, 2 of them are using Lucius. And this Lucius is not there just because he's pretty. He's the second DPS on these teams. He's out DPSing. A5 Lucius is out DPSing Sun Wukong. A5 Sun Wukong, that is. So it's only the broken guy that is Kagiri who's completely broken. But look at this, 112. That is unbelievable. 112 million. So yeah, this guy is no joke. I probably will cover him for Abyss because it's really, really cool what he can do. And sorry, top players, there's a really fun mechanic that Shadow Gaze, people have discovered Shadow Gaze can do. Is it a glitch? I don't know. That's not the point of this video. But let's talk about Semrah because I think that is just really, really fun. So because we've got Kagiri, we don't have to worry about stripping, right? So we can just lean in heavily with Lucius. I will say a perk of having an A3 plus Lucius is he can bring stuns. He's got a stun over here. So I will lean on him for a little stunning combined with my Torador and my A0 Sun Wukong. Will that be sufficient for a deep run? We'll see, but certainly we'll get 120k plus. But I'm gonna be very very light on the stunning with this A0 Torador, A0 Sun Wukong, and then we got my Lucius. But then yeah, the final thing, because of the randomness of Demonic Embrace, because you know damnations can happen in 10 shots or they can happen in 50. It depends how lucky or unlucky you are, depending on how you look at it. Diao brought Lucius to another level because it was really tricky in the past to like time out your Dolores ult or your constant ult when Demonic Embrace was happening. So very often you just have to time it around the units where you could actually see it happening, and it was reliable, consistent triggers of ults, or it was manual triggers. And if Lucius lined up, he lined up. But with Diao, there is no like ult big burst of giving inspiration. It is just constant. She is constantly applying this stuff, whether she's doing the Serenade of Hope or in our case, the Serenade of Sorrow. That's when you're getting the inspiration. That's when you get over here the penetration increase as well. Obviously, I don't think that's going to be landing on Lucius because we have crazy, crazy high attack guys here with Kagiri, Sun Wukong, and Twyla, but he's still going to hold his own and do some crazy stuff. So because you don't have to worry about timing out the added burst an inspiration hero can give, like Dolores or Constance, because we're bringing Diao and it's just a steady flat line, Lucius will always be entering Demonic Embrace while someone's giving him inspiration because it's constant from Diao. So combine that with the fact that we can have Kagiri handling the dispels mindlessly, Diao giving constant inspiration, Lucius can really go crazy. So what is on the agenda? We've got our A4 Lucius here, who's going to be fantastic. We're about to take him into battle. I'll show you his build and then very briefly show you everyone else's build. But the second part of the video, as I said, we're going to show him off at A5, and his A5 is really crazy. So during Demonic Embrace, which we're kind of tailoring this whole strategy around, dealing damage each time, so any instance of damage is going to increase his attack by 2%. Keep in mind when he does a pursuit, that's on top of basic attack, so those count as 2 instances of damage. Every single instance up to 18 stacks, right? Because it's 2% each increase. You go up to 36% attack, a 36% attack boost, and that effect lasts the duration of Demonic Embrace. So if this starts going really fast, and remember from that passive, his attack interval goes down, you can really spam these out, and for the last couple seconds, at least, if not a little longer, you'll have that max stack of just a huge attack boost on top of everything else. So he's just going to be really special. I'll tell you, I'm pretty proud of this Lucius build. I got him over 16,000 attack. This is on a hero with just 4,000 base attack. So we quadrupled it. While I'm here, let me show you the build. Total attributes here, we need the HP kind of high. You need at least 25k. Ideally, you want to get towards 30 because you don't want people dying in Semrah. We got him just over 16k on attack. Pretty dang fast because we want to be triggering that Demonic Embrace. I am going to be looking for moments and probably timing out a rage boost with Leia so we can get an extra stun from him during the Death Saw arm. We'll see how that goes. I'm a little worried about that, to be honest, but a good speed, crit capped obviously, and coming up towards 350% crit damage. Quite happy with this build. I'll click through the pieces very quickly. I could get this way higher, right? Like I could have gone triple attack bonus, but I wanted to have a fairly balanced build, and he does ignore a lot of defense, and Torador's bringing defense break, so it should be pretty nice. Here's a pretty piece here. We need to get that HP bonus, and there you go there as well. Wish that attack bonus was a little higher, but we'll take it. And then for the artifacts, we have him in a maxed out Spirit Siphon. I have not tested the Shadow Gaze in Semrah, so I'm actually not sure how well it will scale. You can see I have one that I'm going to build up. But for simplicity and for consistency, I just want to keep him in the Spirit Siphon like I always use him. Let me show you the rest of the team really quickly. Nothing that interesting. We've got Torador here in Tempered Will. Pretty good gear. I mean, these guys, it's going to be, I've got good gear. These guys are all going to be in good gear. This is a showcase more than it is like copy my gear exactly. But here are the stats if you want to see his tankiness. I've got him in a maxed out Goddess Grace for a little extra defense for later in the battle. Kagiri, I don't care that much about. Kagiri at A0. My Kagiri and my Sun Wukong are A0. I'm waiting to awaken Kagiri until I see who the next new limited will be. Obviously, we're getting a rerun on Anora at the time of filming this, but I want to know who the next new one's going to be because the last three have been completely broken. But yeah, I just need Kagiri dispelling. He'll do it. The damage is fine, but A0 Kagiri's mediocre compared to the top guys. This is the gear. Quite nice. Love this piece. One of the best pieces on my account. And you can see Lucius will not get the penetration increase from Diao-Chan because that goes to the two allies with the highest attack, and all of my fighters have crazy high attack. You can take a look there. Just got over 300% crit damage, and I do have quite a nice artifact. I got his exclusive at promo 4. Let's go now to Sun Wukong. I got my Sun Wukong and a ton of attack. This is the best piece on my account. Read it and weep. Here we go. We're looking at a lot of flat attack. You can see I went no crit. We got him to 99.5 just because I went for big crit rolls. This piece certainly helped with 28.5%. But yeah, lots of flat attack on this. Even more flat attack. Really good. I got to say, this is about as high as you're ever going to see attack on Sun Wukong that is not A2 or higher. So an A0 Sun Wukong with 27.5. Pretty dang good. And we again broke 300% on the crit damage. I've got his exclusive at promo 2. Let's continue on to Twyla. Quite happy with this Twyla build as well. This is probably the second best piece on my account. It might not seem as amazing as the other one, but it does have perfect substats, and it is a variant with maybe the best variant effect in the game. So for any long fight, after a minute, who cares about the first minute, all her basic attributes are up 5%. So, I mean, you can do the math there. That's another 300 plus attack she's getting added, plus general good stuff left, right, and center, all the other basic stats. But yeah, pretty nice build on Twyla there. She is in a maxed out Shattered Hilt. Let's keep going. I got my Pharisee. Yeah, I'll go real quick because I know people don't love healers, but we're just going for good healing, speed, and tankiness. I got all my healers hopefully to about 32k HP. There you are. Pharisee's in a maxed out Euphoric Orb. Now we've got Leia here. I like my Leia build a lot. You'll see Leia and Eloin for both of them. I went Immortal Warrior. If you've got good stats on it, this is a nice way to pick up the HP so they don't die. And then you can really lean into the best Invig or Wings of Grace or whatever you're going to use. So we got her to 35.9, which is excellent. 7.2 on the attack. You can see cut the attack interval in half. And you're always trying to get to, plus or minus a bit, 100 heal effect. It is what it is. These guys are A0, by the way. Oh, and then for Leia, I've got her in, we want a little extra rage regen. I got her in a Golden Scarab. While we're here, I will show you Eloin. My Eloin is A1. Very similar build to Leia. Trying to get that heal effect, trying to get the attack bonus. Really like having my attack at least at 17k on these guys. And for my healers, I always want the HP about 30k or higher. And you can see we use the Immortal Warrior again, and we did accomplish that. We're at 33.1, ton of attack. Again, we cut the attack interval in half. These are good healer builds. You guys know I pride myself on Invig and farming Gear Aid 2, and I've got some good stuff. Another Golden Scarab there. Who else must I show you? I'll show you my Diao-Chan, maybe my favorite character in the entire game. She's in Wings of Grace. I was hunting for as much HP bonus or flat HP as I could get, but my Wings of Grace gear is just not that good. But here you can see I got big attack bonus roll with HP bonus and HP, and then here we got big attack bonus with flat attack and then some HP as well. She comes out to 27, which later in the fight might be a problem. Her and Lucius both might be dying later in the fight, but a ton of attack. 13.5 at A0 is really good. And then I actually just put a couple essences into this. I've got her exclusive at promo 2. I think I showed you absolutely everyone except for Alistair. Alistair I like to do an Infernal Roar. I like him fast. I want attack very, very high. And that's basically it. That is basically it. You do have to keep the HP in mind. So here I got him to 33.8, which is really good with these stats. We're at 21.6 on the attack on an A0 Alistair. Very fast. Crit damage isn't perfect, but it's okay, especially for Semrah. We just want him going and going and going. I even got a little chunk of Rage Regen as well. So there you go. You understand the builds. Lucius is the man of the hour. So yeah, if you guys want to take this move, anyone in the comments, you can go back and edit it. Let me know how you think Lucius will stack up to like this A5 Twyla, this A0 Sun Wukong. I think it'll do pretty good. So yeah, let's head into battle. Let's do this thing. I made one quick change to my Tordor build. We're going to need all the stun help we can get, so I made sure I put a Tordor exclusive on. My Tordor exclusives are terrible. At least I had a pretty solid weapon over here to pair it with. These are two really nice rolls, and we got a little attack speed we needed. So hopefully this helps us out a little bit. Nothing else has changed, so let's head into the battle. This first battle we're not going to save because I want to show the A4 version and then the A5. And then obviously, I think, maybe it's not obvious, but I think I'll probably show most, if not all, of the last run. But this run, I just want to show you the setup and explain some things, and then we'll probably fast forward towards the end. So first things first, let's place Lucius here, and he's the star. So we're going to put Diao Chan here to give him the Wings of Grace, so he gets the 12%. Let's switch Diao Chan to Inspiration mode. We can put Wukong here. We'll put Eluin here. She's an Invig. Let's go Twyla there. We can get Leia pointed down. Then we'll go Kagiri, and we shall go Pharisee. I'll put Alistair here, and we'll put Tordor here. I'll tell you, you might be wondering why I pointed Leia down. I just think that's where we might need a little bit more healing. My Sun Wukong has a lot of HP. Unfortunately, Alistair is just going to be wholly untouched by Leia, but he's really chunky, right? He's got like 33k too. But you can see her ult range, Wukong will be in it. So he'll get the rage boost, and he will get the damage increase. Okay. We're off. You can see Lucius is ready to ult. We're not going to ult. Later on, we will for these stun phases, but for now, we're pretty good to go. And you'll see him entering that demonic embrace. There's a little logo that will come up, so I'll click on him in a moment so you can see. Is it there yet? Yeah, there you go. Right here. This is his damnation. So this is something I explicitly requested in videos and behind the scenes from the devs when Lucius first came out. I've liked this guy for a while. And I was like, I don't mind that there's this random RNG thing, but you have to let us track the damnation. So they did give him his own little buff that you can see here. Oh, I got my Kagiri just in time. But yeah, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the second it hits 5, it's gonna glow out and then count down, and that's when he's entered Demonic Embrace. All right, let's put our stats on. Yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna get a pretty early sense of what it's like for us to get these stuns. There's gonna be a lot of RNG in it. Terrible start. We should get a little one here. I'm not gonna test. I'm not gonna waste it because we're gonna kill too fast. Let's click on Lucius actually check, and he just hit 5. So look, now he gets locked out, and now it turns into the Demonic Embrace logo, and it starts counting down. So not such bad timing. Let's click here, click. Let's get a little boost from Leia, and let's go with Wukong. So we want to put out a ton of early damage here. I haven't done like a really geared out run for a while now on my own Semrah. So we'll see how far this goes. This won't be like my max possible run just because the stuns are going to be in our way later. But we're going to do pretty well, I do think. You can see right out of the gate, Lucius is step in step with Twyla. We'll see how this changes as we progress. So you see right there, he was almost ready to ult, and then he just goes right back to the Demonic Embrace. So he starts tearing through everything. Let's get going Tordor. Let's go Alistair. Looking pretty good. So yeah, Lucius and Twyla, just a step behind our A0 Wukong. Twyla's going to ramp up more and more and more as the battle goes, obviously. But yeah, A4 Lucius already quite a nice showing. Let's get this cleanse out. So here you can see he's at 3 stacks, so we would be able to ult. There is this RNG component that can be pretty annoying. When we need him for the stuns, I'll try to time it out with Leia. That's going to be my solution. You get some manual control over the... There you go. Demonic Embrace at the perfect moment when he's going down to the vulnerable phase. But that way with Leia, you get some semblance of control with when the stuns come. Let's get a Leia boost there. Let's ult these guys. I think you kind of already get a sense of the battle. So I think maybe let's just take it through this stun moment. And then we will resume, I don't know, at 100k or 120k, something like that. So here you can track him if I want to get some stuns. Now he's already up to 3. So hopefully this lines up. I did build him pretty quick. Let's get a stun with Wukong, and we're going to be good. So this is only because he's A3, but we'll get a stun here with Lucius. Should have triggered Tordor, but this is pretty good. If we can stay 6, 7, 8, we're going to be good. So that turned out really nicely. Let's ult with Twyla there. Big burst from Wukong. So when we do that, obviously now he loses some DPS because he's doing his normal ult instead of his Very excellent demonic embrace, but that's a trade-off we're going to make. For all the other phases, we're just going to let him ride, because Kagiri, as you can see, is handling just naturally, just like every 10 to 15 seconds, Kagiri just takes care of it with his strikes. So Lucius there is at 2 stacks. And yeah, these Aegis stacks never stay up long. Now he's up to 3. See Twyla, this is what you can expect as the fight gets deeper, and A5 Twyla will definitely do better than an A0 Wukong. Twyla is the best limited when it comes to boss damage in the game right now. There, Lucius is in demonic, and yeah, he's still doing real good. And this is not when he has A5 with the crazy amounts of attack and everything, right? So we'll do a little check, and we'll take it through this last cleanse round, the poison round, and then we'll pick it back up. Let's call it 100k, something like that. 100k, 120. A little early there with Kagiri. I think we just made it in the first 3 seconds. We'll see. So yeah, really, really nice number. You want to be at 27k by the end of this for a 120k run, and we're at about 35, so we're in good shape, heading out of these first 2 cycles. Yeah, Lucius demonic embrace again, so just tearing through some stuff. Excellent, excellent. And cool, I think this is a good part to cut it. I'll check you guys back in about 60 to 80 mech fragments from now. See you there. All right, so we just passed 120k there. Honestly, we're completely cruising. We'll see heading into this next stun how tough this is, but so far things are going very well for this comp. You can see Lucius is definitely holding his own. Pulled somewhere between A0 Wukong and an A0 Kagiri. That's where A4 Lucius is coming in. So that's pretty cool to see. Quite curious what the jump's going to be like. Obviously, there's only so much damage to go around. People are always taking damage from each other when you're in Semrah, so it'll be interesting how this all scales when he goes to A5, whom he's taking damage from and stuff like that, how much he improves. I'm very interested to see it. And yeah, it'll be nice. But yeah, we're in pretty good control. We have been for all this stuff. The healer builds are really nice. So I was hoping they would allow for a smooth showcase, and so far, so good. Also, Diao Chan, such a cheat code whenever I think we might be in trouble. Hasn't really happened yet, but it will, right? And then we can just go ahead and switch her to damage mitigation mode with her amazing reductions and everything. There you go. We're at 130 coming out of, what is this, the 4th cycle? We got 4 stacks over here, so maybe it's the 5th cycle, right? Because you start with 0 stacks. So 5 cycles to get the 120 and then some. That's pretty dang good. The DPS is looking nice. I'm going to focus up here, so I might not talk much, but I figure people want to see this, so we won't do any more fast forwarding. I'm sitting on these guys, trying to make sure we have the stuns ready. I'll show you my little Diao Chan trick. So Lucius is almost full here. Looks like it's good. He's at only 3 stacks. Perfect, so we can ult with him and get a stun. Now ult with Wukong. A little late on Torador. I've been pretty good at getting 5, 6 stuns every time. As I say that, nope, there we go, 5 and 6. Working out pretty good. Get a little Leia boost. Got up to 9 stuns. That's actually probably the most we've done so far. We can get a quick little Wukong, and right when this hand goes down, I switch Diao Chan, because there's a little delay when she switches stances. I switch her to healer mode, and now you're gonna see she's gonna turn white instead of black, and then we get the reductions. Also nice to go Kagiri here, so it's 1 less person that takes damage, and you can get a little burst from Pharisee, and you can see they're just tickling us. As soon as that's done, you can switch her back to the DPS mode. Let's check Lucius. Wow, perfect. The ult is loaded up, and he has only 1 stack of damnation, so this will be great for the stunning. I did a bad job with Torador, though, but you know what I'm actually going to do? The damage is still so good, and we're only 30% left. I'm not going to stun with him. We'll just let this run through, and we're just going to blast through all this stuff. I think we should get through it fast. Actually, we got a ton of Wukong and Torador stuns, so we're fine anyway. But, yeah, should be off to the races. Yeah, we're good to go. Don't even need to do my switch here, I don't think. A little element heal just to be safe. Let's ult there. You can see these guys are pretty evenly packed out, right? pretty decent distribution. A clear 1, a clear 2, a clear 3, a clear 4. I'll show you where Alistair is. Nice chunk behind. A0 Alistair, a very different thing than A1 Alistair, I'll tell you. Let's try to get Kagiri as early as possible. Right there. Let's go here. Perfect. You just want to ult with Alistair as much as possible to keep that rating erosion up. That's the only thing he's really going to be given for us. All right, perfect timing on Kagiri. Boom, boom. Let's get going with the Wukong. Coming up on 150 now. At some point, this run's going to fall apart. I don't know when, and I think it will be due to the stuns. You know, there's a point where you need to be getting your 12 stacks, basically. Probably somewhere over 200k it will happen. But this is looking to be a good run for us, without a doubt. Let's see, he's at 4 stacks, so he's about to go demonic. Perfect. My DPS also will fall off compared to some of you guys or what you're used to seeing, just because in A0 Wukong, it's not something you see very much. Not many people are like me with an A0 Wukong. I've chosen not to, right? I've got 3 soul stones. I just haven't had the content that's required him. And frankly, I don't regret it because, you know, if there was someone if there was a DPS I wanted to lean in on right now for Abyss, that would be definitely A3 Kagiri would be the ticket. And who knows, maybe A5 Lucius is, I mean, from what we see from those top guys, he's doing better than Wukong. I'd be quite curious to try him with the Shadow Gaze kind of trick here in Semrah, but I actually haven't tried it, so I didn't want to find out for the first time in a video. But if you guys want to see that, let me know, and once I've tested it, I'll see if it's worthy. Let's wait till we've already used Kagiri before we use Leia. Perfect. Let's go. Let's go for a Kagiri slam. Perfect. Okay, looking good. DPS is still spot on. We will fall off, though. I'm guessing we're going to get about 200 to 220. That feels like it's going to be our range. Something like that. Let's get a little Wood Elf here. If later on, right now, I don't think we need to, but we could always flip Diao Chan to protection mode. I'll just show you guys now so you see what it looks like. And that's just going to make this part a lot easier. You know, where we don't have the cleanse ready. Probably moving forward, we will just have to do that. Yep, in good shape. And we can just take this down. We'll sit on a Kagiri there. We'll wait for the next slam at the start. Gotta remember to cleanse even though the phase is over. Take a look. He's at 3 stacks. Let's get a boost from Leia. 4. This is going to be tight. Got to ult now. Just got it. All right, let's go there. I'm always late with Tordor. I'm such an idiot. I've been so bad at that. We're getting tons of stuns, though. It's working. Can we get a full 12? We haven't died. Full 12. Look at that. Yeah, so there's a weird mechanism with Tordor. It should not be this way. I'm almost certain it's a bug. But if Tordor is not in one of these tiles directly touching the boss, if he's back here, even though he has the range to reach, his stuns don't register. So make sure to put Tordor somewhere on the top there. All right, let's switch Diao Chan. Perfect. Switch her back. Carry with Pharisee for this. Check Lucius's stacks. Oh, he's switching. Too late. It's the risk we were willing to take. Wukong's ready. Tordor's going to just be ready. Help us out a little bit. Can we get 5? Can we get 5? Nice. 6. Okay, we should be in good shape. Let's wait here. Switch to Diao. Or switch Diao, I should say. Let's get Twyla. And yeah, you can see we can really tank that with the extra reduction from Diao. Should have triggered Kagiri. That was a huge mistake. We'll get him going there. Huge mistake. I mean, it's a little dramatic, but certainly a mistake. Let's not pretend it wasn't. Will Kagiri come back around for the swipe? I think he will. Looks like he will. Lucius is in demonic. Also, sorry, I know at the beginning of the video I was kind of in the way of the ultimates on the bottom. So I remedied that when we sped things up. But yeah, here we go. As Twyla hits 600 mil, Wukong's at about 2/3. Lucius is at about just a little better than half, right? He's at about 55, 60% of what she's doing, high 50s. But, you know, this is an A5 Twyla, the cream of the crop when it comes to the non-limiteds. Mess that up a bit. Let's let Lucius go demonic. Okay. Sitting on Leia. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, we're still ahead. You know, when you hit 130 in the corner there, you want to have 50% or less. So here we are, we're hitting the 50% at 150. So plenty DPS right now. And you can see, by the way, right, we haven't done any ults with Lucius at any of these Aegis rounds. And Kagiri himself is just, he's the best at just like, you know, fully mindless for you as a player. He's just going to keep those Aegis buffs stripped off the whole freaking time. Three stacks. All right, there's 200K. All right, nice. Let's head in here. This could be where it gets a bit tricky. I'm gonna have to pay attention with Diao a decent bit. We also gotta stay on top of our DPS. All right, looks good. We took a quarter off already. Yeah, still looking really, really good. So the way I like to use Leia when it gets a little more tricky here, when he comes for this swipe to put on the poisons right here, that's when we're going to trigger Leia. Get our DPS going. Now we hold, throw us on 1x so it's easier to see. When he starts coming down for the Cyclops, that's where we're going to switch Diao. When he comes back around here, almost done, that's when we're going to go with Kagiri and with Fasti. So we took that really well, right? We're in really good health. We can switch Diao back. As soon as they move, we can go cleanse with Eloin. And yeah, we're pretty on top of this right now. Yeah, it looks really good. We'll actually save that Wood Elf. I was a little late on Kagiri, so we'll use Kagiri now. Leia's also coming a bit late. Let's spam her. Let's get the Wood Elf down. Ooh, a little late on Diao. Ooh, a little late on Kagiri. We're good though. We just held on. If I make that mistake on the next cycle, we'll lose. That was too tight. I'm going to get the cleanse already. I'll sit on these guys. I'm not going to forget Torador this time. I don't know what my top score is. I would guess like 250 or something. I have not tried to push this in a long time. But this will get us close to there, if not higher. And then we'll see what happens on the A5 round. I will tell you, I'm realizing I'm not going to show you the whole fight for A5. I'll show you like 200K plus because it's the same idea. It will just be wowed by Lucius. So maybe we'll do the first cycle again together. Just that first one, and then we'll jump ahead to 200K, or maybe even here, 220. We'll see how it goes. All right, we're going to get a slam here. Ooh, Lucius is demonic. It is what it is, baby. Yeah, at about 245 is a good time to trigger Torador. Even like 247, because his ult lasts a full 30 seconds. Let's wait at 237. The bar's going to pop up. All right, let's go there. Hopefully we can get up to like at least 6 stuns or something. Oh, is this where we get screwed? We got 4. This isn't good. Okay, let's already switch Diao. And we'll get an early trigger on Eloin. Get this down. Let's have Kagiri parry. Come on, Diao. Ooh, Diao literally saving the day in a very real way. Let's switch her back. Let's get ready with Fasti here for the big one. This one always hurts, regardless of stuns. All right, pretty nice. Lucius is at 3. All right, this should work out well. Still at 3. Let's get a stun. Okay, perfect. Torador's running a little late. Sun Wukong will be fine. Let's please get more than 3 stuns this time. All right, we're up to 4. DPS is looking good. This is the 8th cycle now, guys. You can see we got 7 stacks of his buff. Oh, we're up to 10. All right, this is right when we needed it. This is good. Let's get a little Leia burst. Get ready with Diao, switch her. But really tanking that well. Awesome. Switch her back at the Wood Elf. And Fasti. Ooh, and there it all falls apart. I never understand why that happens, like why it scales that way. But hey, we'll take it. 230, it's fine. Basically, he's just hitting harder and harder as this round goes on. So what I should have done is I should have left Yao up. So we'll do that. You know, when we know that we're this deep into the fight and we're this good on the DPS, we'll definitely leave her. When I say leave her up, leave her in the white mode, in the healer mode. But yeah, this runs over. Frankly, we don't mind because we got to move on to the next one. So we're coming in here in the 230s. Twyla coming in at 750 million. Wukong just over half a bill, and Lucius just less than half a bill. But you can see he's kind of that A4 Lucius, kind of neck and neck with A0 Wukong. I'm curious, and it is going to, in a way, speak to the insane strength of Wukong, but like, is A5 Lucius going to be as good for this as Wukong? Let's not save that. Let's head back into battle. Let's throw that Awakening on. I've been waiting to do this for what feels like a lifetime. You guys can ask R-Type. He's actually going to edit this video, so a huge thank you to R-Type. But, you know, he helps me with some daily stuff on my account, like running guild bosses and stuff, and it drives him crazy that I have some heroes that I leave unawakened because I'm waiting for moments like this for a video. So let's take him up. I'm also curious, just while we're doing it, let's take a little, he's at 97.9. He's a decent BP hero. I'm curious what the A5 jump's going to give him in this build. Let's throw it on. The beautiful A5. I would like to see him pass Wukong, pass my A0 Wukong. So let's see, beautiful psychic power, throw it on the pile, and that actually brings him over 100k, so pretty solid. Without further ado, let's head right back into the fight. I'll click the auto just because it's going to do the placements for me. Let me breathe. But once that's all down, we'll just get a nice, what are the early returns? Obviously, Twyla ramps up like crazy, right? She's stacking her passive as she ults. But it should be pretty cool to see, I think. I hope. I hope it's good content. I don't know. What can I do besides hope? Wow, starting off with no stuns at all. But we made it a long time. It wasn't the stuns that got us in the end. It was the big slams. I should also just really push the DPS a lot more when we reach that moment. Ooh, I missed a couple of my bursts. Pretty good. It's fine. Let's wait for the swipe here. Tearing through this right now. And yeah, he's holding pace again at the beginning, but you know, it's really hard to say because very little battle has happened. Ooh, perfect. He's going to go embrace, hopefully right as we enter this vulnerability. Looks like he did. Awesome. So already at 10k. It's a nice spot to be here. Get a little cleanse. Burst. So there Lucius is kind of screwed because taking a long time to come back around. But we're over the 15k. It's nice. See, I think we're at about 35 on the second cycle. It seems like we're in a solid spot at 16 here. We went pretty fast. I didn't punt so much into the vulnerabilities. But early returns, similar pacing. I'll check back in with you guys. We'll do a check-in like at 120 just to see where we're at, and then we'll check in again at 180 or 200, and we'll enjoy the end of the fight together. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what this guy can do. Wish me luck. All right, here we are clearing, what is it, the 5th cycle again. I actually made a mistake with Elwyn, so I kind of like froze up to make sure I could save it all. You can see I have Diao on savior mode. But kind of the same spot, right around the 130s. However, basically neck and neck between Lucius and Sung Wukong. So this A5 definitely elevates his damage in a pretty big way. Not saying he's better than Wukong or something, but you know, on top of his other utility and just being a really hard-hitting marksman, he does enter that upper echelon of, wow, real boss slayer status. And you can see the way that translates to to Abyss is another level still. So I'm curious, Lucius, you can see there, he's about to catch up. When he's in Demonic Embrace, the number's just like it's a million a tick. So he's definitely catches up. Is he about to pass? We'll see. I guess we can just resume the video here, or the live commentary here, because why not? I'm gonna try to be really thoughtful with Gao. Not really on this cycle, but maybe 2 from now. I don't want any issues. A little late on Tortor, as is the norm. Let's go. We've been pretty good on the stuns, but nothing too special. It's cool to know that you really don't need that many stuns, especially if you have Diao Chan. Okay, so I'll show you what I have in mind for the later parts when it gets tough. Obviously, when he comes down there, that's when we switch her. But basically what I'm planning to do from here on out is we leave her until this hits over. So we'll do this. There's obviously the delay, so that's when we switch. Lose that 2 stacks. All right, we're gonna get stun in here. Stun. Let's see a little boost for these guys. More stuns. Yeah, it should be good. Yeah, I think that's how we'll approach it. A little more conservative and see, can we get 250 or something like that? I think that probably would be getting closer to a top score for me. Leaving Diao in protection mode. Like a little burst and save from Fasti. A little more heals. We'll switch her back. All right, now we're there. This Aegis we won't have any issue with, really tearing through it. And really keep an eye, just shout out to Kagiri. I think people nowadays think of Kagiri as this crazy DPS because A3 and A5 Kagiri are just running the show. That's the top boss guy in the game. But most people don't have those awakenings, or if you do, congrats. But just the way he, like, with Lyra and with Lucius, you need to be pretty thoughtful when it comes to stripping these buffs. With Kagiri, it's just clockwork. They never get more than 1 stack. Yeah, that never gets old to me. It's just crazy. Hoping Kagiri's going to come back in time. We don't really need the DPS here, though. I was late on Leia, so now we just wait. You really don't want to spam Kagiri for this stuff, especially if you're not using him as like a lead DPS, just because whenever he's in a sheathed state, it's just wasted time. And you know, the bonus he gets from an Ember Strike versus a Sweeping Strike it's pretty significant, the difference. Had everyone line up there, really nice, ton of damage. Looks like Wukong's about 15 million ahead of Lucius right now. Probably will stay around there, but if you remember, we'll see when we reach that point, but when Twyla was at like 750 million, when she was at 750, it was like 560 versus 440, something like that. Maybe it's 440 versus 560. It's much closer this time around, obviously. So it's pretty cool stuff. There you go. Aegis stripped again. Thank you, Kagiri. We'll wait for Wukong for the in-between here. Get a little boost from Leia. If I don't need the rage, it's nice to time out Leia just to get that damage boost from her passive. That's in conjunction with her ultimate. It's very strong. All right, no mistakes with Elwyn here like I did last time. Let's see it. They also fixed that thing where Kagiri could slash out of Elwyn's range, so that's resolved. That's a really nice little fix by the devs. Looks good. Right, we can get a proper Leia timing here. There we go. Let's get Kagiri and Fasti ready. They took it like a champ. Elwyn, you can really go on like that first twitch. You can already cleanse there. Get ahead of it if you're tight on rage. Obviously, rage isn't the biggest issue for us because of Leia, but in case that helps some of you guys, a little tip moment. Go close to demonic, perfect, right at the vulnerability moment. Let's go here, Kagiri trigger. Let's go with Fasti. All right, boom, boom. Awesome. Remember, guys, I make this mistake sometimes. I'm like, oh, I'm done with the poison phase. You still need to cleanse if there's poisons out there, so make sure to go with Elwyn. This is where we're going to get real conservative and try to be real thoughtful about Diao protecting us, because this is where it's going to get tricky. I also want to get early on Tortor. 247 is a good moment because of the extra time. Let's go here, go here. We'll save this because we need his stun. How are we doing here? 3 stacks, looking great. Still 3. Okay, trigger, trigger. Nice. 7, perfect. That's all we really need. I'm gonna save Leia so we get some more healing. Okay, throw it here. Comes down. Let's switch her. Let's go Kagiri. Let's go Leia. Like that. Let's get a Wood Elf. I tanked it. Great. Well, we're gonna leave her this time, right? This is what we got Pharisee for, so we're leaving Dao Chan, being conservative. There we get our trigger. Let's check Lucius's stacks. Only 1 stack, looking beautiful. Right after that, now we can switch back. There's a little delay. Tordor's ready this time. So is Lucius. And throw us back on 2x. So we lined that up perfectly. We just got unlucky with some of those stuns. Just the 6. It's okay. We know the drill by now. Switch Diao. A little late on Elowen, but we'll tank this one fine. 6 stuns. We're okay. Let's get this here. Let's leave Diao. Pharisee's ready. We got the Wood Elf. Great. Still hits like a freaking truck, though. Oh, my God. All right, so here we don't need to waste Lucius. Let's let him go demonic. We want the DPS. We'll go with Leia just to get everyone ready. We'll go for a nice in-between here. Save Wukong for when we're at 0 and he's in the super vulnerable state. Trigger. Kagiri, we missed the timing there, so better wait for the start and we get an early rush here. This is a big cycle for us. Let's go Twyla and then we'll trigger. Yeah, Kagiri's going to be back around. Lucius is going real slow on the stacks. There's Kagiri. Lucius get real slow on the stacks right now, so now Wukong's up by 20 million, 19. But you can see they're kind of, it's staying close. It's staying close. I think he's doing a great job. There we go. Boom. I need Leia. Come on, Leia. We probably have two more cycles in us max anyway, even if we can tank where we failed last time. But let's see if we can't get that 250. That'd be so fun. Late on Kagiri. It's okay. I accept it. So it was the next stun from here that we failed. So hopefully we can make a whole loop back. We'll see. DPS is fine. Trigger. Lucius Demonic, tearing it up. Yeah, still about this 19 gap. Fury. Oh, that sucks. That was like a... We're still comfortably there, but that's frustrating. Ooh, early with Elowen, and I just ruined everything. All right, so if you ever do something stupid like that, try to like delay this ending. So I'm not going to use any DPS. I'm not going to use any ults. Very stupid to use Elowen there. We need Leia to come back around. That might throw off this whole phase, so that's not what I'm trying to showcase for you guys, but and maybe I'll showcase how to save it. So yeah, see, I'm taking my sweet time. I don't care that there's 19 seconds. We know we're going to make it, and this is giving Elowen time to come back around with her rage. All right, now we can get some triggers going. Ooh. Oh, I never switched Diao back. That's why we're putting out such bad DPS. Some of you guys are probably yelling at your screen. I was like, why is this taking forever? I lay with the clutch boosts. We should just make it, I hope, here with Elowen. Looks like we will. Hopefully Leia comes back around fast enough. Yeah, we're good. Saved it. Wow, okay. I was like, why is this taking so long? It's because Diao was in healer mode still. Let's go with Elowen. Throw it back on 2x. Late with Kagiri, but I like that because here comes the slam anyway. Ooh, early with Pharisee. I'm so stupid. I'm crumbling under the pressure, guys. No, we'll save it. We'll save it. We'll make it work. Yeah, Leia's going to be ready at a moment here. So we'll use Leia the way we would use Pharisee, right? We'll switch Diao here. A little Leia burst. I think she should just get us there. I was late on Wukong, but Diao's going to save us. Diao's going to save us. Elowen's ready. Yeah, Diao saved us. She's so good, man. Perfect. Let's switch Diao back so we can get some actual DPS. All right, great. Here we go. All right, quite the recovery. We're back on track. We got Pharisee saved up too. Let's tear through this. Wait on the Wood Elf a minute. Okay, perfect. Leia's late again, but that's expected because we were late with her last time. Save from Leia. Perfect. Now Element. All right, perfect. We made it through. Nice. Nice. All right. We don't really care about DPS. This is where we failed last time, I think. We just want to make sure we can survive all these stuns. So if anything, we want to lean into the earlier DPS. Let's actually go with Lucius early there since we don't really stand a chance. And we'll actually go with Sun Wukong early. And then hopefully with Leia Burst, they'll be back for the stun round. Remember, at 247 in the corner, I'm going to go with Torador. Looks good. We need Leia, though. Sun Wukong's ready. Come on, Leia. Ooh, Lucius was ready before Leia. Only 5 stuns. The RNG of it all is very annoying. Oh, no. Okay, 7. Can we get 8? Can you show me 8? No, they can't show me 8. Let me throw us on 1X. Let's flip Yao. Let's go early with Eloin. I will save the Wood Elf for the nasty one. Here comes Kagiri. So this is the tricky one, right? This is where we blew it last time. We're not going to do the switch. Pharisee, now you can switch back because of the delay. Perfect. Easy tank. The next one's the Slam. That's the one that killed us. Let's go with Torador already. Where's Lucius stacks? 0 stacks. What a perfect situation. Hopefully we get some stuns. The stuns also buy us time, right? No way. Come on, stuns. That should be 2 from Wukong. Just the 5, 6, 7? No, okay. Not panic mode. Let's go here. Let's switch back Yao. Let's get ready with Leia and Kagiri. That was a hard hit. Leave Yao. Let's get Eloin going. And now let's get ready with Pharisee. Here's the big hand. Tank it. Come on, Wood Elf. Oh, we made it. Beautiful. Let's pick that Wood Elf back up. Let's switch Yao back. We should be able to DPS our way out of here. Lucius at 1 stacks. Let's do a stun just to be safe. But we should just be able to get carried out. Let's go for the sweeping, not the Ember, with Kagiri. And boom, we did it. Nice. So yeah, as long as I don't do anything stupid with Eloin or something, and as long as we keep the DPS at a high level here, I think we should be cruising to like 260 or something, which I do believe would be a new record for me. So that's pretty fun. See, Lucius is now, what, 26 behind Sun Wukong. But, you know, when Twyla hit the 750, it was like 540, 460 or something like that. Now when she hits that, they're both a nice chunk higher because Lucius took a little chunk from both of them. Throw us on 1X. So we're really looking, are we going to be sub 50% at the 130 mark? Or when we're at 50%, are we going to have over 130? That's the other way to think of it. Hitting way too hard. So you know we're going to die the next one regardless, but we're going to do our best. Let's at least get that big number. Let's get that 250. We need Lucius stacking quick. Looks like he is right now. Yeah, already up to 3. Here comes Kagiri. Actually, we got all 3 of our Nightmare Fighters there. Yeah, Lucius at 4 stacks. Perfect. Let's get ready with the Wood Elf here already. It should last long enough. Oh, they are shellacking us, man. I think that Torador might have just triggered his passive. That's tough. That is tough. DPS looks good, though. We hit those milestones. All right, nice time for Lucius to come with the demonic. Throw it on 1X to try to make sure we get Kagiri and Pharisee here. Nice. Oh, and now we got wiped. Yeah, that's the moment where I should have seen we were so good on the DPS that I could have already switched Yao Chan back to survival mode. But hey, we got our 250, so we will take it. We'll definitely take it. Let's do the switch, see if we get a little residual. Nope. And Wukong dies. Can we at least beat this phase? Come on. Kagiri swipe maybe? Come on, Twyla. Nice. 250 something. Dead Elwyn is not what you like to see heading into the poison round, but there we go. I'm pretty confident this is a new record, even though we're about to get poisoned to death. We don't mind. We'll take it. And I'm really excited to see that comparison. So it's only 28 million is the difference in the end. All right, this is falling apart. It's just Lucius. There's no better way to end it, right? There you go. Coming in at 254,000. And a nice little triumvirate there of our A5 Twyla, A0 Sun Wukong, and A5 Lucius. This inadvertently just shows how broken Wukong is. In A0 Wukong, at least somewhat keeping pace. In Lucius's case, a little better than two A5 like boss killers. So pretty remarkable. Let's take a final peek at those stats. And yeah, guys, I know this was a long video, but I really wanted to show it thoroughly. So Wukong finished with 27 million more damage than Lucius, which with over 500 million, you know, you're talking about what? So 1% would be 5 million. So we're talking about 5% difference or so. Coming up towards $1 billion with Twyla. You could see I could probably tweak this in a couple ways if I brought a little more support, maybe get an Aelin in the mix or something. That we could probably get this going, that we could get her towards like $1 billion and make these runs last a little longer. But frankly, I just don't care about maxing this stuff too much. 120K is such a thing of the past. Let's just double check that is our best score on this account. I obviously haven't pushed in a long time, but yeah, there you go. Pretty dang cool. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Lucius impressed me the way I thought he did, and now part of the reason I want to do it now is now I've got the A5 Lucius to go take into my Abyss 1, but I wanted to make sure I actually did this video before I made him A5. So there you go. That's A5 Lucius. Pretty dang cool. You can see all the interesting interactions with his kit, the Demonic Embrace, Diao Chan really being a great synergy with him, Kagiri unexpectedly being a great synergy because he kind of frees Lucius of his Dispel responsibilities. And there you have it. I've been Fastidious. If you like my stuff, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. A big thank you again to R-Type for editing this video. You guys can check out R-Type. I'll put his channel link in the description. Appreciate it. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.